Alright, welcome to the lunchtime video today. I'm feeling really good. So let's start the video off by just verifying that I uploaded the last one. Just got a lot more going on nowadays, so I'm not I'd rather just, spend an extra minute or so, however long it takes, and make sure it's out there than forget and skip a video. So here's the topic we're gonna go over today. We're moving on to high availability. We're moving on to node and link protection as part of high availability techniques. So basically, what we're gonna do is just try to configure this topology here. Now, it's not going to be as complicated as the last topic where we basically tried to do that same thing. But that's going to be okay because the reason it is less complicated is that it does not include VPNs. And we're not going to be diving into VPNs until the next umbrella topic anyway. So it was perhaps a bit too much to kind of bite off in the last one. So it's a good thing that this topology here isn't quite as complex. Okay, so I'm going to verify that I uploaded that. All right. So we gotta go to my channel. I wish I could just, one hack I could probably do is like have the default be like zoomed in, yeah, like 400, something like that. So like if I go to YouTube, it doesn't try to distract me with a video, because I can ignore this a lot easier. Like when I see a bunch of video suggestions, often I get distracted. That would be a pretty cool hack to set up. But right now, let's stay focused. And yep, so we got the first node and link protection video uploaded already. So let's create the title for the next one. Okay, and then waste no time in opening up the lab and continuing to work on this, hopefully finishing it today, and then moving on to the next topic. So I gotta make sure to minimize this so I keep recording. There we go, and open up GNS3. Okay, and I've got my Topology Summary open as well. That gives me my statistics for CPU and RAM usage. Unfortunately, it shows up, it's kind of buggy. It shows up on my other screen, but I can still see it, and I can take a screenshot and show it. So you can see we've got really high CPU usage, which would be bad news if this main server were a actual hardware server. But the good news is that this is a VM. It's the GNS3 VM running on my ESXi server. So even though it is taking the high 90% range of the available CPU, it's actually just a portion of the available CPU on the actual device. And that portion is small enough so that even though that smaller portion of available CPU is maxed out, it's not even running enough CPU on the actual hardware to heat the hardware up or cause the fans to come on. So it's running nice and smooth and quiet, even though this here says about 98%, because that's just the total percentage of the CPU allocated to this VPN. And with my license expiring, I really can't even allocate all that much anyways. So you can see here, I've only used 72%, which is still pretty high, but that's enough so that those fans aren't gonna go crazy on me. Okay, so let's keep working on this. Oops, and for some reason I can't open this, so I'll just close it and try again. Oh, so I'm having the same issue. There's an issue where I can't open the... I can't open it. Okay, there we go. I resolved the issue. Okay, and I won't need to look at that server summary anymore. Okay, so all these are going to be up now. I believe... Oh, so I will need to... configure licenses on all these and set them to no longer be in Triton mode. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to need to do this off screen as well. But hopefully this won't take too long. Okay, so I'll just be doing this off screen, starting with rudder 6. Okay, so I can delete that. So yep, we're gonna set the version, set system hostname, R6, and then set root or set system root authentication. Okay, so yep, all that's going to be fine. Oops, I'm missing one more. It's going to be set chassis network services enhanced IP. This is what takes it out of Triton mode, but obviously last time there was some kind of issue with that. Okay, and then the final step will be to activate my license, but I'll need to do that off screen. Before I do that though, I'm going to save this configuration, or not save it, but I'm going to put it in a notepad so it's easier to apply it to the other routers. Okay, so here's Notepad++. I won't need, oh, so this I do have, oops, well, it's too late. I was going to say I pre-prepared that config to make it quicker to just dump it in there, but okay, so this is all I'm really going to need. So next step is going to be the license. So it's going to be request system license add terminal, and then I will grab my license key, and again, sorry this is off screen. I just don't think it's a good idea to give away my license key, but it should be pretty easy to just get one yourself if you contact Juniper. Okay, so the next one is going to be router 1. Okay, so it should just be 5-10 minutes of busy work. It'd be nice if I could like automate this or something, but as long as it works, I mean, having a working lab is worth a little bit of work. Just getting the hands-on, getting used to seeing the error messages, all that sort of thing, pretty valuable. And the stress of it too, because I used to be really bad with stress and anxiety, and kind of like test taking. I'm sure everyone knows what I'm talking about when you sit down to a test and oh no, you know, something happens that you didn't expect, and you get test anxiety, test jitters. I think working in the actual equipment helps with that, because you're just used to, like, if somebody says like, there's a failure with the commit or whatever. You're just used to seeing that sort of thing. You can think about it and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm used to that. Yeah, I'm not too bad with test jitters though. Like, it's pretty good. I guess if anyone is watching this and like has a lot of problems with test jitters and test day anxiety and just like generally hating taking tests, I think I do have some good advice. One of my favorite pieces of advice for that came from violinist Hilary Hahn, and what she likes to do is kind of just warm up with some so kind of the worst thing you can do is say, like, 5-10 minutes before you're going to take the test, an hour before you take the test, and go like, oh God, I didn't learn enough about MPLS, I didn't learn enough about VPNs, and then struggle and cram and try to get every little last bit of exercise you can get before the exam. Frantically try to cram in every little last repetition of every little drill that you could possibly do. That's actually not a good thing to do, because first of all, there's just not enough time to do that properly. Like you need more than the final hours before you take the test, the final minutes before you go and take the test. Like, you got to be doing that the day before, and ideally you've got to be just giving yourself enough time every day to study, and then making sure you're putting in that time and not skipping study sessions. So that's really kind of the worst thing you can do, because it won't be really effective. It won't be super effective, and it will kind of bring those emotions to the front of, oh no, I didn't study hard enough, I gotta, I'm forgetting this and that, and it kind of puts you in a mental state where you're just kind of not you're just kind of not prepared to take it. Like, you're admitting to yourself, oh, I'm not prepared to take this, I have to cram in the last 10 minutes before this I go on there. So what she does, instead of, like, from what I understand, she won't, like, do some technical exercises before going out, is just play something that she likes. I think this came from her. It might be advice from elsewhere. I might be able to link the video. Yeah, because I'm talking about test jitters, I might be able to do that. Find a good video that I would endorse and link to that and say how to handle test jitters. I could probably do that. But anyways, long story short, what she likes to do is just kind of find out a way to connect with her violin in a kind of more of a natural way before going on, instead of, like, cramming last minute, trying to get every last aspect perfect. Just kind of leaning into the violin. I like playing violin, and just playing stuff she likes, and relaxing, and kind of not viewing it as a thing that you can pass or fail, just viewing it as an expression of all the work she did earlier. And this is the fun time. Like, this isn't the time to be stressed and worried and anxious. It's the time to really show kind of what you've done. And if you get really nervous, that actually can be an advantage too, because your mind's just a little bit sharper, a little bit quicker to respond. You're taking it seriously. So just kind of, I think the advice that she would have, and I urge you to go and watch YouTube videos about how to handle test day jitters, if you have that, and not necessarily take my advice for it, is just make sure that you're, most importantly, kind of in a good mental state before you take it. Like, you're not letting your stress get out of control. But of course, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel the nervousness. Maybe don't view that as fear, as anxiety, as something that's bad. View that as alertness, sharpness. Kind of an enhanced cognition. Something that's good. It's like, oh, I'm excited for this. I'm ginned up. I'm ready to go. I've worked hard for this, and this is my moment. So kind of like almost like a sports. Getting high-fiving your team, going in. And, view your nervousness that way as kind of a enhancement to your situation, and not a kind of a bad thing. Because if you just think about it, you wouldn't it's not going to help you to take the test. To just be completely calm and relaxed, and not be able to. You care about passing the test. You're here. You're now. You worked for this. This is your moment. Go and get it. Get it done. I think that's a pretty healthy attitude. Instead of oh no, what if I fail? Oh, what if I didn't do this? Being nervous and anxious and saying oh, I can never get past this. I'm not smart enough. Those are very similar emotions to, I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. Pass or fail. This is it. This is my moment. Those are very similar emotions, and you can pretty easily choose one or the other. All right. So hopefully that was helpful to some people. That's kind of how I think of it. I think of test day as kind of this is where the work ends. This isn't the beginning of the work. This isn't the big thing I've studied for all this time, and this is where actually it all begins. I think of it as this is where it all ends. I finished doing the thing. Now it's time to just do perhaps you might even think of it as the easiest part. It's the training, it's the daily slog, the daily grind. What I'm doing right now, that's the part that's really difficult. Just taking the test is just kind of the result of that. So it's really nothing to be super worried and concerned over. More worrisome is skipping a week of practice sessions. That's much more worrisome than test day jitters. Okay, so yep. Now moving on to I gotta license this one before I move on. Okay, and I might as well add some more commands to here. So it's going to be commit and quit request system license add terminal configure private. Okay, and I'm also going to do delete. Yes. Okay, so it's time for rudder 7. Excellent. Okay, so next router, yep, that went a lot faster. Next router is going to be router 4. That was the problem. I didn't have a new line character after that. Alright, so we've got router 9 next. Yeah, I used to, when I was younger, I used to want to be a classical musician, so I have a lot of, well, I mean, 15 years ago, I had a lot of experiences on stage and performing and all that sort of stuff, and definitely had pretty bad performance jitters when I was younger. A lot of really kind of, you know, and I think everyone does. It's just some people kind of know how to handle them a bit better than others. And when I was younger, I really didn't know how to handle them super well. And that's something I think I figured out now that I'm older. And not only that, I just think I experience them a lot less too. Like I just don't get as riled up and I don't feel things as strongly as I did when I was younger. Which could be a really bad thing, but in some senses it's really useful, especially when it comes to test day jitters. But yeah, I definitely remember when I was younger feeling, you know, test day anxiety jitters really, really strongly. Okay, so now it's time for R10. Sweet, so I've got all the licenses successfully added. I've got the default config applied, so let's go through the topology and finish the rest. I'm not sure how far I'll get, but we'll find out. Oops, and I unfortunately did delete the kind of helper I had, but that's okay, we can set that up again. So set family inet address 10.0.16.2, and it's going to be /30. Set family, oops, it's going to be interface G00, and I'll just do X right now because I'm not sure. I think it's going to be 0 in this case, but this is just going to be a template for everything. Okay, so that's going to be a /32. Everything looks good there. We're going to need, so a MPLS requires IP addressing. It requires, of course, you know, physical links, all that sort of stuff. But on top of that, it requires IP addressing. It requires an IGP, and it requires a signaling protocol. We're going to choose RSVP for the signaling protocol and OSPF for the IGP. Okay, but we will need family MPLS enabled for these. Okay, so everything looks good. We will need a LSP for this one specifically. We won't need that for other ones. So set protocols, MPLS label, switched path, and we'll call it what it needs to be called, because we got these dotted line here. So we look at the legend, it's going to be LSP1. And it's going to be to R10, but let's just go with the naming they had. Okay, so yeah, I think that's it. I can't think of anything else that would be required. I'm sure there's something, but yeah, I think that's going to be it. So let's put that in there. Okay. So we'll do a configure private and then we'll do commit and quit. Okay, and then we'll get out of private mode, and if I do a show in terse, pipe match GE dash, yep, we can see it is going to be port 0. Oops, okay, so yep, I forgot the 2. And of course I'm going to need more than that to set up that bypass LSP, but for now let's just start with the basics. And I might even be able to go into one more video to dive into the details more. I do need to be moving pretty quick though. Okay, so this should do it. Oops, so I'm encountering the problem with my environment where I can't paste in a lot of lines at once. Probably because I'm accessing it via console. Okay, but we've got no problems. Double check the results. Yeah, so now we've got RSVP, we've got MPLS, we've got family MPLS. I'm not making that mistake again, that's for sure. And we're using OSPF, so we won't need family ISO, we won't need a NET address, of course we won't need protocols ISAS, we're using OSPF. Alright. Oops, but I am, oh nope, I do have it, I thought I was missing this traffic engineering command, but I have it. Okay, so now let's modify the interfaces here. So this one's going to have 3 interfaces. Okay, so let's take a look at the topology. Okay, so 0 is going to be here. Yep, 16.1. And then this is going to be 1 right here, so it's going to be 12.13. Alright, and then 17.13. Perfect. So now it's going to have a different loopback address. It's going to be .1.1. Alright, but everything else is going to be the same, except it looks like it's going to have a different LSP. It's going to have this second LSP here, because we've got an Egress LSP that ends in Egress here, and then another one there. So let's do that. Okay, but this is all that is required. Oops, I do need to have the correct interfaces configured. Okay, but this should be it. Okay. Alright, so now it's time for router 2. So 0 goes here, so it's going to be that 12.14. Okay, and then 1 points here, so it's going to be .24.1. Alright, and then .27.1. Perfect. And .2.1. Alright, and this is a transit router, so it doesn't have any label switch configuration. But of course it does still need protocols, MPLS, all that sort of stuff that the LSP rides on top of. Oops. I bought a 13-pound bag of baking soda for some reason. I wanted to buy like a little bit of baking soda, so when I saw 13.5 ounce, I'm like, oh, that's perfect. But it turned out to be 13.5 pound, which is not as desirable as if it were ounce. It's too big. Okay. So time for the next one, router 7. Okay, so here's router 7. So 0. Can't really see. Oh, it looks like the label's missing. Okay, well, I mean, I'm guessing it's here, right? Oh, I guess I can kind of see it if I were to move this. Yeah, there we go, okay. So 0 is going to be here, 1's going to be here, and then 2's up there. There we go. So 0, 1, 2. So this is going to be 0, so it's going to be 17.14. Okay, and now this is going to be 79.1. And then this is going to be 27.2. Perfect. Okay, and then it's going to be 7.1. Perfect. Okay, so 0, 2, and 1. So 0 is going to be 24.2. Okay, and now 1 is going to be the other one, so it's going to be 45.1. Okay, and the last one is going to be 49. 49, not 59. Dot 1. Okay, and this is going to be 4.1. Perfect. Oops, so it looks like I've got a typo here. Okay, let's just roll back 0 and try that again. Okay, so I'm not sure what's happening, but if I paste it in again, that doesn't happen. Okay, so time to move on to the next one, assuming this goes through. Well, usually when it takes this long, it's going to go through. So, okay, there we go. Alright, so this is going to be 0, 1, and 2. So 79.2. Okay, 1 is going to be 59.2. Okay, and this is going to be 49.2. Perfect, so we only got 2 left now. And the good news is egress routers don't require any special configuration. They're egress by default. You specify in the ingress router which router you want to be the egress router, and then the egress router automatically knows it's egress. So I can continue to leave off the label switch commands. Okay, but I need to know which one goes to which. So it looks like it's going to be 1, so 0, 1, 2 like that. So 0 is going to be 45.2. 1 is going to be 49.1. Okay, and then 2 is going to be 50.1. Alright, and this is going to be .5.1. Perfect. Alright, so one more router is left, and it's going to be a router that only has one interface, and interface 0, and it's going to be 50.2. Okay, and then it's going to be 0.1. That's important because it's the address specified on router 6 for the egress router of the LSP. Alright, so first things first, let's go on router 6 and make sure we've got all of the OSPF networks that need to be learned. So let's count up how many networks will need to be learned. We're going to need to learn all of the loopback addresses, but we'll see those separate. The other ones we'll need to learn is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 10 dot addresses. So let's do a pipe match. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. And then let's make sure we've got all the loopback addresses. So here we'll only need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And actually we'll only need 7 because we're not going to have our own learned as an OSPF route. It's going to be a directly connected route. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Everything is good to go. All right, so the next thing I'll do is verify the LSPs. Perfect, and the LSP is up. So let's take a look at the RRO to see if it went through where it was meant to go through according to these dotted lines. Okay, so we've got a Egress RSVP session, and we've also got, yep, so that's all we've got. So here's the RRO, so we can see it went, it started on itself, of course, and then it went here, of course. And now it went, aha, so it did do it. It went up 1214, then 24.2, 45.2, and 52. So it followed the documentation. Let's check router 1, make sure that the LSP, the second LSP, follows the pattern of the documentation as well. Okay, so we do have a transit RSVP now. That's the transit RSVP session. That's because of the LSP that is Egress on router 6. And by that I mean the traffic puts it into the RSVP tunnel on router 6. So router 6 is the Egress LSP router for this session here, and you can see the route record object shows that. Okay, but let's make sure the route record object is the same here. So we've got, yep, 12.14, 24.2, 45.2, perfect, and then it stops there. So yep, it's not taking some special path. This is the path it's taking. So okay, so let's try to make these links protected links, and then see if we get a bypass LSP showing up that we can take a look at. So we're going to need to go to router 1, and then that is going to be GE001. So okay, so let's make this a protected link. Oops. Okay, well, I forget how to do this. Okay, well, what if I do edit? This is interesting. I actually forget how to do this. So let's do the tried and true strategy. First, let's see what's going to be committed now. I might. Okay, so I'll roll that back. Roll back 0, exit. Okay, and now let's do a help apropos match help topic match protect. Okay, so now we've got MPLS link protection, perfect. And this should give us, yep, bypass LSPs. So it looks like it belongs, okay, so this is where I got it wrong. It belongs under the label switch path. Well, which is interesting because I wonder how I'm going to add it there. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not sure. And the other thing, it looks like I don't know which. Yeah, this is not very straightforward. Yeah, because I would think that you would do it on a particular link, but it looks like that's not the way it works. Let's see if there's any more documentation available. So how about node link protection? Is that different? Nope, that's the same documentation as for link protection. All right, well, yeah, I don't see how to do this. Let's just try adding it under the LSP. So edit protocols MPLS, show pipe display set relative. Okay, and now edit label switch path. Yep, and now set here we go, link protection. We also have node link protection. Yeah. So we can either protect it from link faults only or link and node faults. Okay, so let's do link faults only. So we're going to do link protection. Okay, and commit that. All right, now it looks like they want this to be protected as well. I'm not sure how to do that. Let's see if anything changed. Oh man, I can't believe it's Friday today. It feels like it's Tuesday. Let's see here. So I don't see a bypass LSP. We've got a transit and we've got a ingress. But I'm looking at RSVP sessions. So let's do show MPLS LSP. Maybe there's a bypass LSP here. Nope, I don't see a bypass LSP. Maybe detail. All right, well, I guess what I'll try doing next is enabling link protection on R2. I'm not exactly sure how to do that though, since there's no label switch path configuration. And the other thing is they're not saying which LSP they want link protection enabled on. Because you can see that I can add label switch path configuration under edit protocols MPLS, so I can do edit label switch path, but now I've got to actually make one, and I can choose between either of those two, but it doesn't give me any clues as to which one. Oh, okay, so it looks like both of them are protected by one pre-established bypass path. Okay. Oh, it says that the interface has link protection enabled. So 10.0. Yeah, so this has link protection enabled. Okay, so let's do it that way. And I'm running out of time, unfortunately. Okay, so this is going to be GE001. Let's do a rollback 1. Show pipe compare. Yep, so we'll remove link protection from the LSP. We'll just add it to the interface. So edit interfaces GE001 set. Let's do edit unit 0 set. Ooh, okay, well, okay, let's do the help apropos strategy. So help apropos, pipe match, help topic, pipe match, protect. Okay, and now let's see how to enable link protection on the interface. So let's get an example of that here. Oops, so this is how to do it for an interface within a port channel. We won't need to do that. Oh. Yeah, so this is just how to do it for a port channel. Let's see if I can do that like this. Edit interfaces GE001. Edit, yeah, gig ether options. Set, nope, I don't see any link protection, anything like that. Okay. Yeah, I'd only be able to do that if it were part of a port channel. Shoot, well, that's too bad. I didn't think this would be so hard. So we've got, oh, and I've only got 4 minutes, so let's see if I can just quick figure this out. Oh yeah, I remember this being so difficult. Yeah, here's how you would configure a bypass LSP. So, yeah, you've got to specify the name of it. And they don't give you a name of the bypass LSP to use. I guess maybe name bypass. Yeah, so I'm not sure. Yeah. All right, well, this looks like useful documentation, so I'm just going to include it in case I have time to come back to this later, but for now, I think this was a good enough exercise just to kind of convince myself that setting up an LSP is not this giant nightmare. This was really nice and easy. So, yep, we can see everything's looking good. So that's going to be the end of this topic. I will mark this as done. Node and link protection. Yes, there was a lot more to go through. I needed to set up a bypass LSP. I needed to get through everything. But anyways, I'm moving on. Next topic will be LDP protection. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.